Time we're pulling.
All right, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Public, please hold your comments until I open the agenda items for public comment. When addressing the board, state your full name both in person and on Zoom. It is suggested that you enter your full name as your ID on Zoom. I will take a motion to approve the minutes of June 2nd, 2025.
Second.
All in favor? Appointments, recognitions, and resignations. Annual appointments to the board and committee members.
Move appointments as presented.
Second.
Okay. Appointment of Norman Gray in the buildings and grounds position, probationary rate of 28.67 an hour, increasing to 30.18 after 6 months.
Move appointment.
Second.
All in favor? Appointment of select board member as Luso Advisory Committee liaison.
That's because Rick used to be the liaison and he's no longer serving, so I figured you'd probably want to appoint someone else. Oh, no.
Everybody's getting real quiet.
Well, what is it? Does it go between like
Just
Kim,
to go
Kim
to the
and?
meetings, just to go to the meetings and be there if they have something they want to relate to the select board. You don't vote in the meetings, you just attend.
Yeah.
Well, if nobody will do it, I'll do it. I'm already doing economic development. Do another one, but I will.
Okay, thank you.
Can we split it or no? Is it only one person?
Here, that's one person.
I move Martha as the select board member as the Luso Advisory Committee liaison.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, Martha. Appointment of Alan Kimberly to the Comprehensive Planning Committee.
Open appointment?
Second.
All in favor? Consent agenda, assessors 2025 valuation update and part of committee minutes, November 13, 2025.
Second.
Kyle, I'd like to say thank you. That was a really nice.
Understandable. Good. Good. And sometimes tend to get a little too technical. They go over.
All in favor? Any select board reports?
Well, what I wanted to bring up is the traffic there at Astico. I ran into it yesterday on a student. If they're gonna park there, they really shouldn't be parking on the sidewalk, but it shouldn't be all the way up the corner, because people had to go around right in the lane of oncoming. I was only doing 20. It's a good thing. I mean, you can't go much faster than that. Is there any way we can get them to, if they have to park in the road, to be down the road some?
Cruising presence.
Yes, and I can. So we've been working with them. They've been very receptive to our needs and trying to get them out of the travel lane off the sidewalk. They've been delayed on paving because of weather. I just came through there today. They're paving today. So once the pavement gets down, I think we can get the majority of that traffic off from the side of the street into the parking lot. So they were just working on fine grading and stuff. So fingers crossed with the pavement going down today, I would assume that it would either be today or tomorrow that we can get them.
But could you get them to go more toward the stop sign so that they're away from that corner, so that when people go around them, they can be back in their lane?
Yeah, and I'm hoping to get them off the road completely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be good.
yeah. So
They got
we'll.
that Parking up there, they cleared that field.
They did, and usually that's full to capacity, and it was the overflow that was parking in where they've fine graded the parking lot. So I'm in hopes that I can get a report back to you that it's fixed this week. So. Yeah,
Thank you.
But the good news is they're gonna have us all for a big free dinner when they're done.
All right. Any unfinished business? Nope. New business, liquor license renewal, Michael Boland doing business as Copita, Chocolate LLC, 102 Main Street, Northeast Harlem.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor? Liquor license renewal, Catherine Connolly doing business as Lighthouse Inn and Restaurant, 12 Main Street, Seal Harbor.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Ronnie, did you vote?
Yes.
I thought, oh, okay.
Amend approved town council list to add Beryl Law. Anyone?
Amendment as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Request authorization to pay Omega Security Group $4,483 for replacement of 3 security cameras out of Marine Security Cameras CIP 6410-100-24687, which has a balance of $14,277.87.
$4,000 for 3 cameras?
Move authorization. They have 14,000.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
I'm here if you have a specific question.
Yeah, Rodney has one, right?
No, I mean, that's quite a price for 3 cameras.
2 of those cameras, Rodney, are more than just cameras. They're full-on 360 degrees zoomable cameras. There's a lot more to it than just the cameras. They require a stainless steel metal box that houses the equipment that runs them. We're updating from old wired technology to wireless.
Are they a floor camera too? They do both?
They do have some night vision capability in them, but not a full-on night vision camera.
Gotcha. All right, I just shocked me. Camera, $20.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Okay, request authorization to pay Coastal Energy $22,180 for replacement of the boiler in the Yachtsman Building of the Northeast Harbor Marina CIP 6410-100-24680 has a balance of $111,582.93.
Move authorization.
Second.
All in favor? Request authorization to pay GF Johnston $8,000 to solicit a request for qualifications from engineering firms qualified to design, bid, and manage the reconstruction of the Northeast Harbor Commercial Pier of Northeast Harbor Marina Cap Improvement Reserve, CIP number 6410-100-24680, with a balance of $111,582.93.
Move authorization.
Second.
Just clarification, John, is this just for the engineering firm? This is just to get the design.
This is to help us with an RFQ to find the large engineering firm that is going to do everything that it says there in the memo.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Request authorization to release and approve the expenditure of funds in the amount of $15,970.09 to the town of Bar Harbor for all costs associated with the telephone system upgrade in the Mount Desert Police Department from the town manager telephone reserve account 402-0100-24209, current unencumbered reserve balance of $50,984.50.
Move authorization.
Second.
All in favor? Consider accepting an unconditional gift to the Mount Desert Fire Department in the amount of $100 from John Favor in memory of Stuart Burke.
Move acceptance.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Review and approve amendment to its contracts with Solar Logics to preserve the tax credits on 2 solar array installations through a safe harbor plan.
So we're trying to make sure that we can preserve those tax credits, and if you want additional explanation about this here from Brian.
Is that what we were talking about before from the last?
We're trying to get through it as fast as we can. We're trying to make sure we get through on the timeline that will preserve those credits, but there's things can happen, and this would be an additional assurance that we put in place that making an expenditure early, essentially.
Yeah, it doesn't cost the town any extra money or add any cost to the project. It's just about making sure that the project can qualify until 2028 instead of the end of 2025 for the tax credits.
That's gonna work.
We anticipate that, probably we're anticipating that we don't actually need it, but this is just to.
This is the one that you had taken over, right? That they had been, you'd been leasing it for a while, and then.
That was the one on the town garage, which we outright own now.
Okay, so this is different.
These are 2 more installations that we're doing. There's one that's on the wastewater treatment plant, one of the garages here in town, and the other one is the Somersville Fire Station.
And the
2 new installations.
the 2 new installations, I can't remember all the details about them. Reducing the peak. We were limiting that, and that was what we were talking about the last time. That was just with that one array.
Yeah.
I would move the approval of the amendment as presented.
All in favor? Okay, review and approve contract with Wellman Paving as apparent low bidder for the fiscal year 2026. Annual paving in an amount of $238,162.50. And further authorize additional expenditures of budgeted paving funds for additions and revisions to the paving contract not to exceed $420,000.
What are they paving? Just what, I mean, they, sounds like it's on standby in case you need.
Budget line for annual paving of $420,000. What we typically do is come up with a list of roads that need to be repaved, just on an annual basis, and
Yeah.
rotate through it and keep them paved. Grover was done last
Yeah,
year.
right, yeah.
Ripples Road was done last year. There's a variety of them, and it's based on the
Rotation, yeah.
Just rotate around. What you'll notice in this is that the bids came in quite low relative to previous years, so we got a better price per ton, basically, on the bids than what we've seen in other years. So we have a lot of extra in there this year, and so we'll do an assessment of where we have additional needs and determine whether or not we add some later, but that's part of what you're authorizing tonight, is to add in further roads and utilize that budget appropriately.
I'll second. Motion.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Review and approve a quote from Maine Equipment Company for repairs to the 2017 Heil PT 1000 Acker truck in the amount of $19,248.08, with funds coming from account 4051500-24581 refuse truck reserve with an approximate balance of $31,158.02.
Approval?
Second. That's getting down. That's more than half of what you have left in the reserve.
Adding more to it,
Okay.
starting fiscal year 26,
Perfect.
August.
That's all. It's just like, that's closer than we usually get in those accounts.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sense.
All in favor?
We sent a lot of years out.
Yeah.
So it's worth.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of the small price.
And that's a little amount compared to,
$200,000.
I was gonna say. It's sad to say, but
I know.
Yeah. Consider authorizing the finance director to make debt service payments due 7/1/2025 to Bar Harbor Bank and Trust in an amount not to exceed $1,662,500 to be subsequently approved at the 7/7/2025 meeting for the actual amounts paid.
I move approval.
Second. All in favor? Consider transfer from the reserve portfolio, the general operating account, in the amount of audited interfund liability amount of $1,536,000 $367.12 for the fiscal years ending 6/30/2023 and 6/30/2024.
Move approval of the transfer.
Any questions? All in favor? Consider authorization of $200,000 to be used from the capital gains reserve account 400-24202 to reduce the 2025-26 tax commitment in accordance with Article 40 passed at the 2025 annual town meeting.
Move authorization.
Second.
Favor?
Just want to clarify, you are recommending that we use 200,000 to lower the tax commitment based on the information that I provided in my memo.
Public comment.
Oh, is that like new business kind of stuff?
No, it's just, if there's somebody in the audience who would like to comment on something that we've
Oh,
covered.
yeah.
If we've covered it.
Yeah, I think we have,
All right.
obviously, yeah. Hi, Howie Motenko, Seal Harbor. So I came with two issues that I wanted to discuss. The first was, at the town meeting, there was, some discussion about one of the, what is that, non-consent people? Is that, the people that were asking for money, that $5,000. Yeah, the $5,000, right? Yeah, so the non-consent request, is that what it's called? I forget what it's called, the title.
Third party request.
Third party request, thank you. So the third party request. And I was on that, subcommittee that came up with the form. And someone asked, is there a procedure? And David McDonald asked if there's a procedure for this whole thing. And no one spoke up to it. But on that form, it says, and Mark, you were on that committee as well. So on that form, I asked that we put in, are you a 501c3? And the reason for that is 501c3s are charitable organizations. And that was the intent, I think, of those third-party consents, was to give money to charitable organizations. And so that was the reason why I asked for that to be put there. Jake agreed with it, and it was on the form. And then there's the whole process of actually applying and coming in and making a case for your cause. So I looked them up, and the last time they filed, well, the 2023 was the one I found, and that group filed as a 501c6. So they're not a charitable organization. So at that point, it seemed like it wouldn't have even been an issue, but someone asked if there was a procedure. No one on the select board spoke up to it. So I'm here today to say, I thought there was a procedure, and this is the reason why that particular question was on the application. So I just wanted to enlighten everyone with that.
Yeah, so it's a C6.
I don't know.
I know C7 is a social organization, C6 is.
The organization is a type of nonprofit organization recognized by IRS that focuses on promoting and advancing the common business interests of its members.
But it's still a
It
nonprofit.
is no. Yeah, it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of nonprofits.
Charitable organization.
Exactly. It's not a church.
Business license.
Right.
So Business events, tourism, commerce, real estate boards, boards of trades, and professional football leagues, but not charity. Okay.
Right. So that's why we asked for that to be a 501c3. All right. So my second issue is that it all comes down to the comfort stations in Seal Harbor at the town dock. They got wiped out 16 months ago, and they haven't been replaced since. Whatever the reason is, it seems like it falls short at this point for why we still don't have comfort stations there. I hear they're purchased. I'm on the harbor committee. I keep on asking John about it. John says it's out of my court.
I have nothing to do with it. We did everything we possibly can to help it along. And he says, you know, speak to Brian Hinkle. And so, you know, here we are. And I don't know what else to say about it, you know, I mean, it just seems disappointing, that's all.
They are purchased, and we do have them at the town garage, and I'm waiting on some work to put in the concrete slab with anchor bolts so that we can anchor them in place. They have ears that you can anchor them down. I want to be able to bolt them in place so that we don't have them blow over, we don't have them wash over if we don't get them out in time if something were to come up. We also have to get electrician back in order to wire them in. We'll have to get them plumbed in. But it is in process, and I'm sorry, it has taken a long time, and I do apologize for that.
I just think, you know, like, if you know this is coming, like, why couldn't have that concrete been done previously? And like, why couldn't the electrician, I mean, the electricity was plugged in April, as far as I know.
To get the hoist operational and the lights operational there, yes, and then there's additional electricity that needs to be, electrical work that needs to be done over to the station.
And what I'm saying is that the electricity was in place in April, so you're saying now in June 15th, you'll look into getting an electrician.
No,
Well, that's what I'm hearing. So to the select board, I say, can we move this project along?
And we say, yes, it's in the process and we're doing the best we can to get the electrician, try to find an electrician to come to your house. Try to get someone to come pave your, I mean, it takes a lot of time and I do think Brian's been pretty straightforward with, we talked about this I know it's taken time. I completely understand, but he's not just now trying to find an electrician.
we do have an electrician that will come to the site and does know what needs to be done. And yes, potentially we can start doing that work now for sure. The process itself has taken many months just through all of the FEMA process. Plus permitting in order to be able to put these things back, in order to change what we're putting down there from the building that was there. That building didn't deserve to be rehabbed in place. It was just gonna be a future problem if we left that same building in place. It's just gonna get pushed again if we have similar kinds of storms. It was a switch and extra permitting and extra process through FEMA, so it has taken a very long time. I will admit that for sure. But it is not something that I've been letting go. It is just taking a long time.
Well, but you just said that you're able to move forward with it right now.
I just actually spoke to the engineer again today, asking about the design for what we're doing for the concrete pad. And was told that it would be this week that we would get that. So then I could contract with the contractor to get that portion of it done. And then we'll have somewhere to put them and we can hook them up. So I'm anticipating that it is all still moving forward. And I have been checking in on a regular basis.
But Brian, do you have a timeline? Like, have you got any idea when you could say this is when they're gonna be here? Or you're already all done with the permit, right?
Done with the permit, done with all the FEMA process. And now it's just a matter of, we need to deal with the contractor work down there in order to get pad that.
Yeah.
Bolted.
Well, I mean, I understand how it is frustrating.
I understand too.
It's been over a year.
Yeah.
So how about over by the pole? All that has to do would be, are you gonna concrete it or tar it?
Need to pay that.
So they'll pave in. So I mean, that's not really holding anything up other than we go down there with traps. I push your guards out of the way. And then I don't put them back when I leave. But maybe because I'm just having a tantrum, but other than that, yeah, if we just had some idea of when you thought it would be wrapped up, that would be
I'd love to have it wrapped up very, very soon for sure. I definitely want this project done. Yeah, so I'm anxious to get it done. I have not forgotten about it, not delaying on it for any particular reason. I'm just, it's just been a process to get this.
Yeah, okay, good.
Even to where it is now, so.
I don't think anybody's blaming, you personally. I hope not.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it seems crazy. So,
It's been a long time. I know.
right, so when would it be appropriate for me to come back to the select board and ask for a follow-up if it's not done by a certain time? That's what I'm asking. When do you feel would be appropriate?
You want me to tell you when you should come back to?
Yeah.
To blast you.
Yes.
Meeting in 3 weeks, July.
Yeah, I would suggest you contact Brian directly or Derwin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Can I just say, Brian's doing an amazing job in difficult times. I think Wendy's right. All of us have difficulty getting things done now. It's been like that for a few years. I got a dripping faucet that I've been trying to get fixed for months. Drip, drip, drip. It's just like that now. And I think we all have to be patient and we all have to be kind to one another.
And I
That's
think
what
the
I think.
added permits and the added FEMA, like there was all these added steps that we needed to jump through to get this to the process where we are now, so.
Decision about what we were gonna do,
Right.
which only came to the board, I think, last fall,
Yes.
nearly a year before we even got to that decision point, so.
Well, I apologize for bringing something so negative to the situation. I just didn't know what else to do.
It's entirely appropriate for you to come to this board and ask those questions. I agree that it's hard to be patient and it's difficult and Brian's doing an excellent job. But I do not, for 1 second, think that it's inappropriate for you to come and vent your frustrations. Absolutely.
Especially if you're gonna take a leave.
Okay, any other public comment? Other business now,
So one article
18.
from this most recent annual town meeting was granting an easement to Rainy Point and Tops LLC for utility placement across Cooksey Drive. So that authorized the select board to sign that easement. The easement has been drafted and been reviewed by a town attorney, and I apologize for not getting this on the agenda in regular form. The agreement in front of them. And it has been thoroughly reviewed, and I recommend authorization of that easement.
Okay, now who's gonna sign this?
But you designate, you can sign it, any designee is like a warrant, like I say.
All right,
Need a motion on it? So move.
Move approval with Derlin to sign?
John can sign it.
I just can hear you.
He, since the delegate,
No,
So move with John to sign? Sure.
okay,
Second.
all in favor? Okay.
You're done.
Okay, any other business? Okay. Treasurer's warrants, approval and signature, town invoice AP 2578 in the amount of $574,997.88.
Move approval and signature.
Second.
Okay. Approval and signature, treasurer's payroll, state fees and payroll benefit warrants. State fees and payroll benefits, AP 2576, AP 2577. Town payroll, PR 2527 and PR 2528. For a total of $263,460.15.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor?
One abstention.
And acknowledgements, school invoices, AP 14. And school payroll, PR 25 in the amount of $154,565.51.
Move acknowledgement.
Second.
All in favor? I would have the motion.
So moved.
Second.
In favor?